and welcome back to the Ring of 57 YouTube channel. Today's video is actually today and tomorrow, but I'm on the way to make today's video. So we have a Yamaha R1 that has been stolen, okay? It was stolen from this individual. It was recovered and returned to him. Now, when he parked the bike, he locked the ignition, which locks the handlebars, and someone tried to bust the ignition out apparently. Dropped it, trashed it, beat the tar out of it. So we're going to be putting fairings on this thing, a lock set, and a steering dampener, because apparently they jacked that up too. Figured I'd bring you guys along for the transformation. This is more of a Chad kind of video. He usually does this style. I do more of the in-depth explaining. But I thought, hell, why not? I'm driving to get it. I might as well make the video. So we're currently on our way to Columbia, Tennessee. I'm supposedly 5 minutes-ish out, tugging the open trailer. I just passed a state trooper and I'm doing 65 mile an hour in a 45, and he didn't turn around, so that's good. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing, get it loaded, and we'll check in after I get it and get headed on towards the shop. And hopefully we have this thing done by tomorrow afternoon, because he's coming to get it and ride it home. He ain't been able to ride it since it was stolen. All right, now that the navigation's not gonna interrupt us anymore, we are on our way to the shop. Ooh, Amos sent me a photo. We have the R1 on the trailer. It's back there. I can see it in my mirror. It's still there. It is a little crunch. So the story on this is the gentleman had it parked outside. He went and rode it, parked it, went in the house for about an hour. When he came back out, fortunately, he'd locked his ignition. Unfortunately, he locked his ignition at the same time, but he gave me the whole rundown here. In that hour and a half he was inside, someone in broad daylight on a main street came up, tried to smash a screwdriver into the ignition and get it to turn. Was not successful. Tried to drill a hole in the end of the steering dampener. They thought that was the lock. It's not the lock, people. The lock you ain't gonna drill. You can drill the ignition if you want. Good luck. It's tricky. You know what you're doing, you can, but it's illegal, so don't. In any case, they got frustrated with it. They shoved it around to the backyard, tried to mess with it some more, weren't successful, wiped down what they had touched, and they kicked it over and busted the fairings up. That's the story. That's how he found the bike. He had just purchased the bike. He loved the bike. In any case, it's been set up in a shed for about 2 months. The battery in it's dead, but he was fortunately able to get the key into the ignition and wiggle work it enough to break the lock free. So it is not locked up anymore, so at least we can roll it and steer it. I do have the key. We're gonna go ahead and change the lock set out so he doesn't have to finick that key, and we're gonna fix these fairings. It is a very beautiful bike. He showed me what these fairings are supposed to look like. Man, you guys are not gonna believe what this bike looks like afterwards. And it's a little rough right now. It's not bad, to be honest, not bad. Better than a wreck bike. But the final product, man, we're gonna put on a show for you guys. See you when we get to the shop. Alright guys, we have arrived, and with a quick jump start, she's running good. She actually runs pretty good. Smells like burning mouse pee. Kind of happens when you leave them in a shed, but it's a little cold. We're gonna go ahead and probably call it a night on this. We'll probably get back to it tomorrow, get it knocked out, get fairings on it, and so on and so forth. There's our before. It's a little dirty, a little nasty. As you can see, they knocked it down in the mud and tumbled it down a hill. The ignition works, but it's been smashed, and someone tried to drill, ooh, mouse pee. Someone tried to drill a hole in the steering dampener. All right guys, so we didn't do next day. We actually started into it tonight. This R1 is stripped down, as you can see. We got all the fairings off the tanks, just chilling there because I had to test this Amazon ignition switch that he purchased. It's really light, seems cheesy, but it does function. The only issue we have is it's got a male connector where there should be a female. So once we get his factory one off here, this red connector, I will have to cut off and properly connect to that ignition switch. What I did, I pinned between them, male to male, and the bike starts, runs, no codes, no nothing silly. So we're gonna go ahead and run with that ignition switch and his full lock set, which actually looks pretty good for being Chinese. But I wanted to cover this for you guys. So these have snap-off security bolts. You're supposed to cut them off. Most places will just cut the head off, grab them with a vice grips and crank them out. Well, you can take a cutoff wheel, and if you're talented, you can cut a flathead slot in there. Now, they are Loctited to beat all, like the holy Loctite, but this is your best friend. This is an impact driver. It pushes pressure down when you hit it with a hammer and simultaneously forces the turn.
Thank you for making me buy that. I've
Yes.
used it a lot, and it's come in so much handy for not just for that, but for other stuff too.
Yeah, stuck Phillips head screws, anything you can think of.
Super common.
Super common uses. This is the medium size. They make a larger and a smaller. Probably the next time I see a smaller one, we'll pick it up because they're...
You can get small ones at Harbor Freight.
Yeah, the small ones are Harbor Freight. I think we got this at Rural King. It's cheap tool, but golly, it's a saver. But anyway, we got this all stripped down. The tank, like I said, is just sitting there. We were able to bring his battery back to life. Thankfully, it is a very expensive anti-gravity battery. And yeah, it was in protect mode, I think, because it came back in like 10 minutes. Other than that, the bike looks pretty good. We do have a broken off air duct. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to re-bracket that. This tab is broken off his headlight. We got the underglow off and all the fairings laid out. So next we get to put the new fairings on, and you'll see it then, because I ain't about to show them to you. Alright guys, so we're back. We have had a chaotic day. You're gonna have to check out the Team Righteous YouTube channel, and I will be posting a video later with a couple more channels. We had some people here professionally filming. Looks amazing. We had a dyno day here today, and we dynoed Yamaha, no Yamahas, Kawasaki's, Suzuki's, Harley's, you name it, we rolled it on the dyno and we made some power for some people. We didn't do any tuning, but we got them numbers, got them an idea of where their tune sits. A couple of them were really good, a couple of them were really, really bad. Hell, we managed to, on that bike over there, we managed to make 50 horsepower changing a fuel pump. So, if you haven't seen that video, that's on the Team Righteous YouTube channel on how to bypass fuel pump. He had a severe restriction. He was hitting like 16.5, 17 to 1 up top. We aborted the run, made 91 horsepower. Freaking terrible. But I figure I owe you guys a reveal before this gentleman gets here. So without further ado, let me get this little switch. The R1. This bike came out absolutely beautiful. He is still missing a couple of covers there he's gonna have to order, but hell yeah. And it beats to music. White light, red light, green light. Ooh, she's pretty. We got the ignition fixed. I went out and rode it. He does still have a severely warped front rotor that he's gonna have to address. But beyond that, this thing is amazing. Looks like we're putting another one on the dyno. Dyno day is not over yet. Thanks for watching the Ringer 57 YouTube channel, guys. I hope you enjoyed this bike. I think it came out phenomenal. Hopefully the customer thinks the same. He's on his way. He's gonna ride it an hour and 45 minutes home, and it is getting brisk. You can't tell by the cheesy sweater. But I'm gonna go help put this bike on the dyno. Later.